Boom. Okay. And we're live? Yeah. All right. So, so basically, I want to talk about the study that I ran across the other day about most people losing money on promotion. So, a survey in the UK found that 75% of people that spend money on promotion spend more than they make back, or they basically the people they spend more money than they actually get back. So, the study found that the study was conducted on 1,000 musicians, producers, rappers, MCs from the US and UK. 91% of those surveyed promote their music in some way, right? Like we've all seen the boost post on Instagram. You can do advertising on YouTube, on TikTok, right? You can on Spotify. Everyone has a little bit different rules, but basically, it's not hard to promote your music. The of the 91% that promote their music, 75% of those that spend money on promotion don't make back what they spent, right? The money they spend, they don't recoup it. And 51% of people who 51% of those surveyed also take a social media detox. We'll get to that, but let's talk about first like 91% of people promoting their music, right? That's a whole bunch of people. That's a ton of people. And probably cut that out. I'm gonna make my camera a little smaller. All right. So most that means the vast majority of people are promoting their music, right? And I tried when I opened my BeatStars store, I tried promoting my beats on BeatStar, and I got tons of plays and likes and all that kind of stuff, but nobody actually bought my stuff. And the big reason for that, I believe, is that um, music is not like other services, right? Where I'm if I where I can offer like a guarantee ROI if you buy my thing, right? Like I I researched into doing marketing, like running a social media marketing agency for a little while, and turns out that if you can promise somebody for a $2,000 return on their investment, or an additional $10,000 return on their investment, people are pretty interested in buying that thing, right? Especially if it costs $10,000, right? If I can say to you, I'm going to make you $10,000 in 3 months, and my program costs $10,000, and then after that, you're going to get an ROI on what you put into it, right? Like that's a pretty great guarantee. It's like a no-brainer for most businesses, right? But music isn't like that, right? Because you're not selling something that's going to help somebody else's business make more money, right? We're selling a feeling, right? And if that feeling doesn't resonate with people, they're not going to go further with it, right? So, yeah, it's great to let people know about who you are and to promote your awareness and that kind of thing. Generally, though, you don't want to be promoting your music with money and making and spending that money doing that kind of thing when there are other much better ways to be spending your money, right? If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, right? It's not as easy as clicking boost post or recording an ad or whatever, right? It really takes strategy and consistency over a long period of time to get any traction as a musician, right? Because people got to find out about you. You have to build that trust, and you have to give them that feeling. You're selling a feeling, which is a much harder thing to monetize, right? It's not, there's no like direct ROI to a feeling. So what you really need to understand is your audience. You need to really understand your audience at a very, very deep level and the value that you bring to their life and create something that they didn't know they wanted, right? Like Steve Jobs created the iPhone. Nobody knew they wanted the iPhone until it was created, right? So nobody knows they want the feeling that you can bring until you create it. So let's dive in a little bit. Music is a business, right? Right. If you're a musician, right, you need to prioritize the return on your investment, right? The return on your money that you're putting into your music, right? And promoting your music obviously isn't, I don't know why that was in there. Promoting your music isn't the best way, quite obviously, to spend your money, right? Because if only 75% of people are making back more than what they put into it, right? You just have to assume that it's not going to be you, right? Like if we do some quick math, right? 75% of 91%. Excuse me. So that's 68.25%, or 68.25%. Yeah. Or put another way, sorry, 91% point. That means only 25% of people promoting their music are 25.48% of people. Oh, I did really help if I could do math. So 22% of people who are promoting their music. Oh no, now I'm getting myself all confused. Forget about it, right? Most people who promote their music are not making money back. Much better to focus on consistently putting out content and trying to build relationships with your fans to build your personal brand, right? Because once you have that recognizable personal brand, then you then you're gonna, excuse me, be in a much better place to be able to sell sell your music, sell your merchandise, that kind of thing, because people recognize and trust your brand, right? You can't advertise your way to a good personal brand. That's a huge point, right? Because again, you're selling a feeling, and people like to buy, but they don't like to be sold to. And so if you're trying to sell them a feeling through an advertisement, it's the study just says that it's probably going to land flat the vast majority of the time, right? Only 22% of people, or 20% of people are actually, um, yeah, 22.75% of people are actually making a return. That's like one in five advertisers. If you think you're going to be that one in five, maybe, maybe. I mean, I think Spotify came out and said that like 80% of artists like have like no streams on their platform, right? Which, given this stat, right? Like you got to be in the top 20% of of artists to make it work. So let's tie some of these things together, right? So right now, if you focus on your music and your content around that music and the feeling that it provides, you'll do a much better job in getting your music out there, building a relationship with your fan base and your audience, and that in turn will lead to more sales, more revenue for you, for your business, your music business, right? You as an artist, uh, right? Product life cycle, right? Is like introduction, growth, maturity, and then extension or decline, right? And so, as an artist, right, if you're new, you just need to be putting out content, making songs, right? Uh, Releasing singles, building your catalog, growing your audience, growing. Everyone needs to be growing their audience and their network. That's something you just have to put time into doing. You have to do it at all times. uh, and you need to build genuine relationships with people, right? It's called social media. It used to be called social networking, but they changed it to social media, right? Because that's kind of because people consume now more than they network. It used to be you networked more than you consumed, but now people consume more than they network. So you can take real advantage of that, and you can network a lot more. So if you work on this day after day, month after month, year after year, you'll start to see results, right? If you start networking and building relationship and growing your audience, and once you start making hitting goals and making inroads and really getting to the point where you're um, like growing as an artist, then you can think about, once you get in that top 20% of artists, top 10% of artists, then you can start thinking about doing things like paid promotion, paid advertising. Um, until you get to that point, you're just probably wasting your money. So, all right, so the last thing, right, the finding, right, uh, the 51% of these musicians, producers, rappers, MCs, they take social detox. So generally, this is going to happen. In my experience, this is going to happen when you build your identity around your social media profile, right? You spend all of your time liking, commenting, tagging, doing all that kind of stuff. And social media starts to use you, and you become majority consumer, right? When you become a majority consumer, the things that motivate you to consume eventually they overwhelm you, they wear you down, they run you out, and you get really you get run down. Social Too much social media is I think linked to anxiety. I think I've seen a study that says linked to anxiety, depression, um, and you can't scale inner happiness. You can't scale likes, comments, shares, subscribe, followers with ads, right? You need an audience to do that. Once you have an audience, right, then you can promo and try different things, and your audience will let you know what they like and what they don't like, and then you can go with what you like. So just to wrap up, uh, spending money on promotions probably a fool's errand. Uh, Focus on thinking about your being an artist as a business. Focus on it being something that you look at like profit loss, right? And you don't businesses that run at a loss aren't usually in business for a long time. And make sure you don't build your identity around social media, around social network. You need to be well rounded. You need to be a producer on social media and use it as a means to an end and not build your personality, your identity around that profile. So, really hope you like this. I hope to bring you more news like this in the future. My name's Scott Block. I make beats. I help artists with their custom beat needs. I also try to bring more value to artists' life by helping them with their promotion, advertising, and or with their promotion and being more consistent about their output. So, if anything those things sound good to you, find me on Instagram at Scott Block Beats. I'll talk to you later.